you must understand that we are humans. We have to face chaos almost every day. And that's the constant thing. It's very important trying to be calm. And the only way to achieve that is by lowering risk.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another TFT interview. Today I'm joined by Carlo, who comes from Italy. Welcome, Carlo.
Thank you for inviting me to this interview, Ana.
It's a pleasure to have you here. So can you tell us first a little bit about yourself, your background, and what got you into trading?
I've always been an entrepreneur. I used to work with my family, with my dad. I started when I was 21 years old in Italy in the leather business. My family owned a tannery. We used to make leather for shoes or for sofas, and it ran for a long time. Then I got tired of that business when I was like 35 years old. I didn't believe in that business anymore. And I wanted to make a shift in my life. So I decided to start investing in the real estate business. Okay. I had no experience, but I started step by step building houses and apartment. It was 2006, 2007. And then what happened? In Italy, 80% of the people, as a saving, people own a house. So owning a house is something safe for Italians. That's why I decided to invest in the real estate business. In those years, what happened? You remember very well, 2008, Lehman Brothers crashed. And I was at the peak of my buildings. I had a lot of buildings going on. And the prices of my sales, they were reflecting 2006, 2008 expansion. And all of a sudden, when also in Italy, in Europe, the financial crisis arrived, they hit the economic very, very heavily. Real estate for like 6 or 7 years stopped completely. Not like 2 years, 3 years, like in the States, and then it went back again, We couldn't sell anything for like 5 or 6 years. And at a certain point, we couldn't do anything, just like filing for bankruptcy. And so I found myself when I was 47, 48 years old without a job, and my mentality that I always has been the one of an entrepreneur, and asking myself, what do I do right now? My wife reminded me that 20 years ago, around 2000, I started trading and I enjoyed it very much. Of course, when I was young, it was like gambling,
Yeah.
and I experienced the internet bubble in 2000. For 3-4 months. I could make a lot of money. Then suddenly in April, I remember like it was yesterday, the market crashed like 25% in 2 days. I remember that I could go out of the market and I still had like a 30% gain in the first 3-4 months, like after the crash. So I said, you are good. And I started to buy the NASDAQ indices and also a lot of internet stocks that were falling, like, kept cutting long,
Yeah.
And I kept buying for 2 years, but there was no level because NASDAQ from 5,000 went to 1,500 in 2 years. So at a certain point, like when it was 3,000, 2,500, I had no more money.
Yeah.
And I lost everything because it was probably one of the biggest crash in history.
Yeah.
I stopped, and then I had my my own business in that period. Okay. I forgot, but probably something remained
Yeah, yes,
inside,
yeah, yeah.
and that's why my wife suggested to me, why don't you try to start trading, but doing it as a job? And that was something that opened
The doors again.
the doors again, and it was 7 years ago. And so I started taking courses everywhere online, and also I went physically to meetings all around Italy, different experiences, but none of these helped me to make money. And I had to create my own system, which took me many failures, many failures. The problem was not to find the perfect strategy, but to understand that to follow correct money management and risk management. That's all about it. You can use a stupid strategy that gives you 40% probability of success, but still, if you use the correct money management, you can be a consistent, profitable trader. It took me a lot of time to understand that. I'm still fighting, still fighting. I mean, it's a daily battle. I have thousands of papers with sentences written where, like, stay focused in the present, forget about the future, forget about the past. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. I understood that if you want to be consistent, you have to find your own peace while trading. If you are in peace while trading, means you are using the correct lot size, you are using a correct money management that doesn't disturb you, because you are not afraid of losing what you have, what you are risking, because it's parts of what you can afford to lose. Last year in August, I discovered the funded trading program, and it was another open door, or possibility, huge possibility of having the chance to trade with larger capital.
How did you find TFT? Was it online or you got it, or someone recommended it to you?
Yeah, I was in a period of very much frustrated because I was fighting, trading with my money. I used to make some money, then I used to lose money because as I live on trading and I have a family, I couldn't reach the level of expenses that I have monthly. Sometimes I had to force
Yeah.
trades,
Yeah.
and when you force, sometimes you can win, sometimes you lose more. I need a help. I need a help. What do I do? And I started to have some interviews with banks because I wanted to offer them my services. I said maybe I can trade on behalf or somebody that can grant me some capital. But it was not easy, especially in Italy. There are no hedge funds, or maybe I don't know where to knock the door at. And normal bank, they don't trade futures and all this stuff. Probably it was by coincidence when you are willing, and you're still focused on your business. You keep thinking how to improve. Probably at night I was watching a YouTube channel, a guy showing his amazing trades, 50,000 bucks in one day and all this stuff that I really don't care. But at a certain point, he explained, don't use your money, use first money. And I kept listening. And then he mentioned about a couple of firms, including TFT. So I went back online, and when I discovered it was like a heart attack. I mean, the possibility, because I knew that I had my setups, my good strategies, and it was a fantastic possibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I applied. It was, I think, beginning of August, a terrible period because it's very hot here. I wanted to go on vacation. and it's not the right time to trade the market. But I said, okay, maybe in 40 days I can pass. And then I started failing so many times.
Wow.
Because of course, by miracle, all my setups disappeared when I subscribed to the challenge. Or I don't say 100%, but the market changed a lot. And then also, because if you want to hit a 8% target in 35 days, sometimes you have to force a little bit. I mean, you cannot use a 0.5% risk and you have 35 days time. So I arrived a couple of times at plus 7%, and then I couldn't make it because I had no time. So I wanted to suicide in that period. But then I kept trying until I succeeded with 2 challenges lately. So it took me like 6 months.
It's been a journey.
A journey. Now, of course, I'm very happy to be part of the TFT community.
Amazing, amazing. And how is your experience with us?
I gave trust. I decided to trust TFT, but till I couldn't prove once funded what was going on, I was a little bit skeptical because you hear many things around the prop industries. There are a lot of scams. Of course, I trust this TFT because I know that TFT has a huge community of followers on Discord. And what really impressed me, I'm happy to tell you to anyone who will be watching this video, payout time came. It has been a fantastic experience, which really empowered my trust for this company because it was so quick and smooth. The documents needed, and it was amazing because I'm from Italy and I receive money from the States. When I pushed the withdrawal button to receive my money, that was promptly deposited from TFT, and it indicated like 4 days estimated arrival time for the money into my bank. It arrived the same day. I don't know how it could.
Wow.
Because from the States to Italy in the same day, it doesn't happen even if I wire my money from Italy to another bank in Italy. So it was happening not because, it was the first time. And the fact that everything was so smooth really, really made me happy.
That's amazing. I'm happy to hear that. Would you like to share your screen and maybe show us a little bit about your strategy, how you analyze the charts, and we can talk about a little bit how you manage the trades?
Yes. Well, I experienced all of this swing trading, but for me, as many things can really happen and change during night, I prefer to be a day trader and focused on the next 15 or 20 minutes. When I place a trade, maximum I stayed in the market for a couple of hours. I used to consider top and lows of the movement of prices. I trade Nasdaq 95%. Okay, Nasdaq or Standard and Poor. I don't trade forex or commodities. I like to take in consideration the price movement during the Asian session. The open till 8 o'clock in the morning, which is I think 2 o'clock in the States. Then I made some adjustment for my own way of trading. I prefer to consider all the movement that happens from the opening session 2:30 p.m. in Italy, which is 8:30 in the US. So it means 1 hour before Wall Street opens, because of course Eastern time. Very often at 8:30 in the morning in the States, there are some important news. Make some great price action. So here is when the session opens, okay? And the price moves and it makes a top right here. Let's say that this is 2:30 p.m. for me. It's 8:30 in New York, okay? So 1 hour before the opening of Wall Street. This is the range that I consider. So a top and a bottom that the price makes from the opening session till 1 hour before Wall Street opens. Is it clear? Then I apply Fibonacci retracement. What I'm looking for is that when the market, the cash really opens, which is right here, 9:30 a.m., I want the price to go at least at 161.8 Fibonacci. It could be here, or it could be, if we have a short movement, it could be here. Okay? I want the price to go out of this box, and I want it to move towards this level of Fibonacci. Then when it comes back, I enter here. So I want the price to go to this level, and I want it to come back. Once we are at the top, I enter. I place my stop here at this level of Fibonacci, and my target is 38.20, which is the same, 61.8 of Fibonacci. So my target is risk reward is 1-to-1, but the probability is good. Can be 70, 80% of times.
Amazing.
The same thing I show you here, right at the opening session, we have this top, and this is the bottom before 8:30 New York time. Price moves down towards this level, then reverts. Once it hits the bottom that was touched right here, I enter, and again, this is my stop, and my target is right here. So this is basically what I look for every day. Of course, I'm happy when this range is large. When it's too tight, I prefer not to trade it, because otherwise we have less probability of getting stopped out. The larger it is, the better it is. I don't use any indicator, just price action. This is just another chart that I use to identify. For me, it's good to see support and resistance zones, and I use this zig at 10 minutes time frame. We are going long on a larger picture, if we are going short. But this setup can take from 30 minutes to a couple of hours to achieve target or to be stopped out.
And do you do top-down analysis, or you only focus on the 15 minutes time frame?
To have a larger idea, I start from a daily analysis, but then when I trade, this is my favorite time frame. Sometimes I also look at the 30 minutes time frame, but this is my favorite. It's simple but very effective, and last year it worked very, very well. And this year, I can tell you, especially in April, never popped up. I had to pass the challenge, and I achieved to pass the challenge in April. And this setup probably happened one time only in April. So everything disappeared. I mean, my favorite price action, also volatility. Volatility is nothing recently on the Nasdaq, which is something that I never experienced before. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't move anymore. It's gold for people who are trading options, but for future traders, it's really frustrating.
You mentioned that you've been trading now for like 6-7 years. How often do you have to kind of like do those adjustments in order to adapt on the market conditions? Because obviously we have to do some adjustments to be able to make some money when the conditions are changing.
To be honest, before recent times, my problem was to understand, to use the correct money management and risk management all the time. Strategies were pretty good, but then one day I used one lot, the following day 3 lots, and that was the big mistake. I understood that having a good capital allocation allowed me to use correct money management without risking too much. And I had to face adjustments recently because really, when I started to trade Nasdaq, I decided I used to trade the DAX, a German DAX before. Then I stopped because it became like a turtle. Also, the DAX doesn't move anymore. So I switched to Nasdaq because always had volatility, allowing to go to target very quickly, also to go out of the market very quickly. I mean, you receive a slap, you get stopped out, but very quickly. Okay, so not hours, and then and after 5 hours you receive your stop loss. No, I mean I can reverse now if there's volatility. I get stopped out, I reverse, I try to follow the trend. I had to adjust recently, especially when I was under challenge. When I felt I was ready to pass the challenge, all my setups were gone. I had to adjust a lot. I mean, I have seen big changes since March after the Fed reunion, March 14 or 15. That was the last day of volatility, and then the data stopped. So I had to make a lot of adjustments, and it's very difficult now for me, very difficult. But as I am funded, I am not. I
There is
don't
no
have
rush
a.
now. Yeah.
There is no rush, so I wait. I try to be patient. I'm waiting for better times.
Can you tell me a little bit about the psychology you have towards trading and what have you done to improve it?
To improve psychology, I think it's a daily battle. You can be in peace with your mind 10 days, 15 days. Then, of course, the market will draw the attention in different way or with sudden moves that you don't expect. And maybe if you still have some bugs in your subconscious mind, you will start making the same mistakes again. So it's a daily battle. It's very important to understand that I think 90% or 95% of traders have a psychological problem. It could be FOMO, it could be fear, it could be being greedy. If you want to survive and trade the market for a long period of time, you must understand that we are humans. We have to face chaos almost every day. And that's the constant thing. It's very important trying to be calm and in peace when I'm trading. And the only way to achieve that is by lowering risk. If you keep trading using contracts and large sizes, I mean, it's more of a gamble game. If you lower the risk and you work step by step by building your house slowly, then the walls will be very strong in the future.
What advice would you give to new traders that are just getting started?
If a trader wants to succeed, we must learn not to be greedy. Okay, you can earn sometimes 8% in a month. But if you want to stay in the market for 10 years, if you can accomplish 20-25% a year, which is a top of performance for even an important hedge fund, that we should be satisfied with that. Of course, when we have a $5,000 or $10,000 in capital, and then if you want to have our salary, then we are forced. We would like to double that account every 2 or 3 months. The main goal here with TFT or other is to achieve an important capital allocation, be accountable, responsible for that, risking very, very low percentage, like 0.4, 0.5% per trade, and try to gain your two. If you are great at 3% a month, and at the end of the year will be a lot of money. So not to be greedy.
So, what are your plans and goals with trading and in general in life? You mentioned earlier that you're aiming to get the maximum allocation. So, tell us a little bit about the plans and goals.
Yes, now I am a little bit more relaxed, and I'll try to focus on step by step following the TFT scaling plan, which is about 7.5% every 3 months, which I think is can be for me can be achieved to be able step by step to get the maximum capital allocation. Would allow me to to have a good salary without risking too much. I mean, I will need to risk very little because I'm really looking forward to a long-term relationship with the funded trader program.
That's amazing. Okay, any last words that you would like to share with us?
I say thank you.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your experience with us.
Good luck to all traders.
Yeah, and I wish you best of luck with your plans and with trading. And I hope to have a follow-up interview when you hit the maximum allocation.
That will be a milestone.
That would be amazing. Okay, thank you. Thank you once again.
Bye.
To all of you watching, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and show us some love in the comments down below. Trade safe, and until next time.